Okay, so today we're going to talk about photosynthesis and respiration, which are cellular processes. And they're the cellular processes that help us indirectly, or in the case of plants, directly, get all the energy we need for our life's activities. And we do that through how we eat. Are we autotrophic or heterotrophic? And so we're going to talk about the two organelles and the two cellular processes. You're going to fill in the red words on your notes today. So let's start. I'm sure you remember from elementary school, and it was also in Omnivore's Dilemma when we read chapter 1 on Monday on page 13 about the process of photosynthesis, where the trees take in carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, they use it to make food, and then they release oxygen as their product. And then all cells that take in oxygen, including you, and you inhale air, and your lungs are able to take the oxygen out and send it through your bloodstream to get to all of your cells, so your cells can perform cellular respiration. This relationship between photosynthesis and respiration is what enables life to survive as we know it. The products of one process, see the example here of respiration, are actually the reactants of the other process, photosynthesis, and then vice versa. The products of photosynthesis are the reactants of cellular respiration. So you have two chemical reactions taking place in different organelles that provide the energy needs, meet the energy needs of all life and enable it to survive. Now, how does the carbon dioxide get in? Plant doesn't have a mouth, it doesn't have nostrils, but what it has is tiny pores on the underside of its leaves, and they are called stomata. And so that is the way they inhale and exhale. It's how they bring in the carbon dioxide and then exhale the oxygen that they don't need. Now, plants also carry out cellular respiration because the sun doesn't shine 24 hours a day. And when the sun's not shining, they need to be able to continue to make food. And so they do have mitochondria and can carry out respiration as well. Now, water, another necessary ingredient. Plants get water, if you remember from our water unit, capillary action is something that roots can do where water can defy gravity. And so water primarily comes into the plant through the root system. So that's why rain is so important to soak the ground so the roots can then deliver water up to the chloroplast. And that's the organelle where photosynthesis takes place. The lungs are gills, if you're not a plant. Bring the oxygen in, and it's delivered via the bloodstream to all the cells. And then the glucose is also delivered by the bloodstream after digestion when food is broken down to its simplest forms. Those nutrients that are needed are delivered where they need to go. Now, photosynthesis makes the glucose that is used in cellular respiration, and glucose is just the simplest sugars. Cellular respiration in the mitochondria, known as the powerhouse of the cell, because the mitochondria is able to convert that oxygen and glucose into ATP, which is the energy to power all of our organ systems and everything we need to do that carries out all of our life processes. Now, Water is broken down to form oxygen during photosynthesis. Remember, it's H2O, so when that chemical reaction takes place, and then the cellular respiration, that oxygen is combined with hydrogen to form water. So you can see where the two chemical reactions are occurring. One is decomposition, one is synthesis. Photosynthesis requires carbon dioxide and releases oxygen. Cellular respiration requires oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. It is the released oxygen that is used by us and most organisms for cellular respiration. And remember, all organisms have mitochondria, because all organisms at times, even plants, need a backup plan, a generator. In all animal life and protists and bacteria that are heterotrophic, we must carry out cellular respiration to process our energy and meet our energy needs for our life activities. So again, the bloodstream is what carries this oxygen into our cells. Now, sometimes oxygen is not available. Sometimes we can't breathe in enough. We're using energy so quickly, we can't get enough oxygen to be able to, can't be processed fast enough to meet our energy needs. Some of you may have been running or exercising or playing or doing something, and all of a sudden you get this burning, say in the muscles of your thighs. That is when your body is undergoing anaerobic respiration. You are burning energy at a faster rate than the mitochondria can produce energy. So you have to go to your backup plan, your backup generator. And we call that lactic acid fermentation. All alcoholic beverages, wine, beer, our vinegars, anything that is fermented, that is actually a process of anaerobic respiration or fermentation, where you are using the glucose to produce energy without oxygen. So yeast can break down glucose and produce the alcoholic carbon dioxide and energy, and then lactic acid, what we do. Yeast is a fungi. So that also works in beer making and wine making and other liquors as well. So fermentation is respiration without oxygen. And aerobic, if you ever heard the word aerobic exercise, that's exercise where we're taking oxygen in and out. Anaerobic means without oxygen. So that's an important vocabulary word to know. Now, cellular respiration and photosynthesis are part of the carbon cycle. The carbon cycle is the pathway in which carbon is recycled throughout the biosphere. So that's the atmosphere and all the ecosystems on the earth. When cellular respiration releases carbon dioxide as a product, when we are exhaling it, photosynthesis plants are taking it in and out of the atmosphere. And this exchange between the two processes, between the balance of the living things on the earth, those that need oxygen, those that need carbon dioxide, should keep atmospheric oxygen and carbon dioxide at stable levels. However, we are burning fossil fuels at an alarming rate and putting more CO2 into the atmosphere than life on the earth can process. So again, these chemical reactions are inverses or opposite reactions. Some of the ATP made in the mitochondria is used for energy for work. Some of our energy we don't use at all, and it is lost into the environment as heat energy. Think about sweating. Photosynthesis takes place in the chloroplast, and the chloroplast are the organelle where the chlorophyll in the chloroplast is able to store the sun's energy, and that is also needed for photosynthesis to take place. Now, we're going to pause here in our notes. I've got a little quick video for you to watch, and then I've got some questions to get you to think about what these notes are telling you.